Good morning, good morning, good morning. Got 3 of them this morning. So it's the last day of bean harvest. Yes, let's finish this. It's October 10th. I'd have to go back and look through the records, but it's been a long time since we finished bean harvest October 10th. That's awesome. We've flown through the harvest here, and it's good. We should get to shelling some corn later today. Also a good thing. Got my breakfast popping up out of the toaster. And we got a little fertilizer stuff to deal with this morning. They're bringing out our map. I'll explain later, but we've got to make sure we got all the lime out of the spreader so that they can load that up. And then, yeah, I'll explain in a minute. This October weather has just been unbelievable. Sunshine, beautiful, beautiful weather for running beans. We could use some rain. We could certainly use it, but we aren't going to complain about being able to be in the fields and getting stuff done either. So, all right, let's see what we've got in here. Yeah, just a little bit of lime left in there. We got to get that emptied out. So we're just going to back it up to the pile over there and turn the conveyor on and let it dump back out because I don't have anywhere to spread it right now. So we're spinning our belt here manually, just holding the button. We'll let it go around a couple of times and then we'll get out and look again. So I need a camera inside the bin so I can see. Now we got a pile out. Good enough. We're going to just bounce around and run it a little bit, spin the spinners to get all the extra off. I might try and wash some of that back end off a little bit, just clean it up some. I don't know. We got to make some adjustments though for the fertilizer. I get carried away with sometimes. I just wanted to rinse the heavy fertilizer off the back spinner stuff, and now I'm washing the sides. But we're getting her cleaned up, and then I came over here and looked at this oil cooler, and it's got all kinds of lime in it, so we're going to try and clean that out at least a little bit through the screen there. Our fertilizer is here. So this is straight MAP. MAP is monoammonium phosphate. Its analysis is 1152O. We use this for the phosphorus value. This gives us the phosphorus that we need to raise a good corn crop and bean crop for that matter, but we don't need a huge amount of this. It's totally based off a soil test, and the areas that are low get it, the areas that aren't low don't get it. So in fact, all of the MAP we're going to use is on that truck right now. Now we're not going to put it all in the spreader right now because I don't need it all right now, but this will go a long ways. I think our rates for putting it on are somewhere between 100 and 140 pounds to the acre, so fairly low use rate. But this stuff is stupid expensive, and I do mean stupid expensive. So it is well over $700 a ton. So you don't want to use more than you need, kind of thing. Now he has 4 compartments on there. Got 3 of them full, and each one of them weighs 12,655 pounds. Our scale was at 0, and I zeroed it when we were starting here. So we're going to see how close we come and how accurate we are. We can make a small adjustment if necessary, but yeah, good way to calibrate the scales when you do this and you got known quantities going in. All right, he is empty. 12,760. So we're 100 pounds heavy reading, or light, or whatever. So within 100 pounds on that amount, or 130 pounds, I think it was, 125 pounds. That's less than 1% margin of error. That's not bad. I did make a slight adjustment to our calibration number, but we're pretty darn close. We need 22,000 pounds on here. That's what we have available to be spread right now, or ready to be spread right now. The rest of it, it's going on corn that we don't have shelled yet. So we're gonna watch our scale and have him shut it off when we get to about that point, and then we'll go find somewhere to put the rest of it. Do not screw this one up. That is an expensive spreader full of fertilizer right there. All right, we gotta go get him empty. So my plan here, we were thinking, well, we could dump it on the ground like we did that wheat fertilizer over there, but it's gonna be a while before we use it. We certainly don't want it getting rained on. So then we thought, well, we could dump it in the barn, put it on the concrete, it would be inside. Then we gotta get it cleaned up and stuff. And That's not a bad idea. We may end up doing that in the future. But then I thought, well, it's not that much. We're only talking about 8 ton of fertilizer, 15, 16,000 pounds. I got seed boxes that are empty. Let's go put it in that. So that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna go down to the seed warehouse with it and just auger it right into boxes. There's a few 8-hour grease zerks on those U-joints, those bearings under there, going up front on a bearing. So I was going through and kind of hitting some of those. The other ones appear to be 100-hour, be like once a season. So we're not gonna mess with those right now. Okay, well, we're getting started here. We need to pan test with this product because it's gonna be a little bit different. But what I have figured out is that if I put the settings really close to what it says in the book, we're going to be really close. And it is more important to get the rate set right first and then pan test than it is to pan test and then set the rate, because it changes how the test goes after you change the rates a lot and the speed and how it's falling on the spinners. So we're going to start there and know that we're at least close. The difference between lime and fertilizer is with lime, I get a huge dust cloud and I can actually see it being spread. With this, man, you can't hardly tell. I can every now and then see a little bit of stubble getting hit or move or something shaking on the ground there, so I know that we're throwing stuff. So we are applying. I can see my belt spinning down there, so that's good. But we aren't going to see the pile go down. At 100 pounds the acre, it's going to take a long time. It's going to move very slow. Yeah, that's what we've got right now. We're going to spread for a little bit and see if our scale agrees with our rate controller, and then we'll know our rate is at least close. All right, we went around the perimeter of this field, and according to our rate controller, we should have 20,218 pounds left in the box. According to our scale, we have 20,580, so we're off by 350-ish pounds. So we need to make a little bit of an adjustment, and the way we are going to do that is to adjust the bulk density of our product. I put it in at 66 because that's what my scale said. Now I packed it into that scale because when I've done this before, I was light in what I got versus what I actually needed, but this time we're heavy. So essentially we need to be applying more than what it is. So we need to tell it that the product is less dense so that it puts more volume of it out to get the same pounds, right? So instead of 66, we're gonna put in 63. I looked it up what MAP is supposed to be, and I've gotten anywhere from 55 to 65. So I don't know. But we're gonna try that. We're gonna make our scales match again. So 20,580, so let's make this say 20,580, and now we'll spread around and we'll see how it does after that. And if we need to keep adjusting, we can. But that's why scales on a spreader are awesome. All right, this field is a great example of why we soil test on zones and not grids. So you'll look at our background map here and you'll notice that there's this curved edge here. Well, that follows this elevation edge right there, right? And then this is kind of the low ground, is the black stuff that goes right up through that draw. The high ridge continues over there where we spread the last time. And then we drop down into this low ground. It doesn't need any fertilizer. And then we kind of come back up and there's this little ridge right here. The elevation doesn't show on the map, or on the camera very good, but here we're gonna spread again. But down through that draw over towards that corn there's no fertilizer. So it's gonna shut off right through here. Now it's off, and now we're climbing back up onto this ridge, and that's this red zone. And see how it kind of curves right around where the low ground goes? This high ground needed fertilizer. That's its own zone. The low ground over there did not need this phosphorus. It's got enough, and you can see how that kind of curves all the way around and goes way back over to that side. Well, look, it curves back around, goes way back over to the corn over there. And then it goes up again. We got another high ridge on that side. And over there, we're putting fertilizer on because it needs it. That's why we do it the way we do, because our soil is so variable. And it's not always elevation based. It's yield zone based. So you won't always see them correlate perfectly. But in this field, that really shows up. Where we have water holding capacity, we grow really good crops. and it's a different environment than on the top of the clay knobs and stuff, and so the fertility demands are different. And usually you need more fertility in the good ground because you're pulling more off. You're producing more corn, more beans, or more whatever crop we're growing. But it's all based off of the soil test. We test them differently and separately so that we can tell and treat them differently and separately. All right, well, we made our next round here, and we're better, but we're still off. So we're gonna go a little bit farther. We're gonna take our, no, not that, this one. Product density, let's go all the way down to 60 this time and see what that does. 20,160, right? Isn't that what we saw? Yeah. 20,160. Okay, we'll try her again. 17,520, 17,490. We're pretty darn close now. That's 30 pounds different. We'll call that good enough. So, all right. Well, we're done with this field. That's all we needed here. So let's see. We started with just shy of 22,000. We're down to 17,500. So what did we spread on here? 4,000, a little over 4,000 pounds. 4,400. Okay. Yeah, 50 acres it says. It's probably about right. That's the map. Cool. Okay, it is a little after 11. We're gonna be able to go combine soon, so we're gonna call it good enough for spreading fertilizer for today. We'll do some more tomorrow morning probably. Definitely fall. We've got some real pretty color in the trees all of a sudden this week. Yeah, that won't last for long. It's gonna be bare. Yep, it's time to go. Let's go combine beans and finish this up. Phil's still hauling, I think, taking the last loads in from yesterday. There's an empty truck sitting here we're going to take down to the field. I think Brock's coming here in a little bit, so he can run grain cart for us or something till we get done. Got our oil checked and thought I would check out where we cleaned up yesterday after our oil leak. For the most part, it stayed clean. Except for when all the stuff falls off the door and hits you in the back of the head. Oh, dang it. I was doing good too. Oh well. Anyway, that's not covered in dirt anymore, so that's good. And it's clean on the backside, mostly. Yeah, mostly. All right, I think we're good to go. We definitely got a little more oil off of it running yesterday, but I don't think it's leaking anymore. I think it was just stuff that was on it, or maybe there was still some oil inside the cavity in the center that seeped out, but we're good to go. We do have a little header maintenance to do. We got to fix this spot. So we got to take at least these two bolts out, maybe the ones next to it as well, and try and get that pried out of there and underneath the belt like it's supposed to be. Off and running here. I got the broken guard fixed, but I've got another one that I only had one. So we fixed one. It should be fine. We don't have that much to do. Let's finish the beans up. So clearly we've got a variety change right over there, another pass. This variety is my 3-4s that we've been running the last few days that have been pretty good beans. They were really good in the plots the last few years. This is the best bean we've had up to this point. However, it is discontinued for next year. I'm not gonna be able to get them anymore. Those are the new 3-0s, the 30-35s that won my plot. So I'm excited to see what we get over there and see if they get any better or not. All right, story time. So this field that we're on has a lot of rocks. Probably our rockiest field of anything that we have, which you wouldn't think that would vary that much, but it does. For some reason, this one is much worse. Anyway, this summer one day, I was working around my flagpole doing some landscaping stuff there, remember that, and I needed some rocks to make a border around where I was going to put the landscaping and the stone and the plants and all that stuff. And Rylan had been, my oldest, he had been picking up rocks on this farm with my dad earlier this spring. And so he's like, hey, I know where there's a rock pile. It's along the woods in the back on that field over by the ditch. And I was like, yeah, there is rock piles back there. Let's go find them. Now, the thing is, we have a waterway, or not a waterway, a filter strip along those trees over there. There's a ditch, comes all the way back to the woods. And I thought, well, we can drive along the woods. We'll go in the beans if we have to a little bit and find that rock pile. And we're coming along and we're driving along these woods this summer. I'm like, man, where is that rock pile? Where did it go? And we finally got to it right there, right? So we sorted through there, and Ryland's like, oh yeah, that looks right. Those are the rocks that Grandpa and I picked up. I'm like, I don't know if those are the rocks you and Grandpa picked up, but there was a rock pile, so we got what we needed. So we found that rock pile, got what we needed, and then I'm out here combining and I see, if I would have just kept driving another 50 feet, we would have found another rock pile that looks much fresher, much more the size of rocks that we were looking for, and much less overgrown, like they were just put there. There's the rock pile Grandpa and Ryland found or picked up. That's what we were looking for. Never did make it to them. Oh well. One of the reasons that our yields have been pretty good for the most part this year, our averages and stuff, and I think we'll see it in the corn too, is that spots like this is a low spot in this field that probably 1 out of 3 years at least it drowns out, and there's nothing here. You get zeros, and there's beans through the whole thing right now. And not only that, when you get dry, the wet spots tend to be the better spots in the field because they have a little bit more water holding capacity. And so we never had a huge rain and flood in the spring right after planting to kill some of those spots out that would have a lot of times had nothing and been zeros, and that really helps an average out. So yeah, that's part of it. Getting down there, about 10 acres or so to go. Most of it's this triangle and point over here, this spot. A couple more rounds of the longer rows. We'll have some ends along that ditch. Wrapping up the beans. They're getting a little bit better as we go here. Our average for the field is up to 67, which we'll take that, right? We'll take 67 bushel beans. That's really good. Just about done. A few point rows here, and the soybeans are in the books for 2024. What a deal. So I went back and looked through some records, and 2020 was the last year that we finished this early. In fact, it was the same day, October 10th of 2020, we finished bean harvest for that year. So, yeah, I guess it's not as uncommon and super early as maybe I thought, but still, October 10th is very early to be finishing bean harvest for us. And we've got a little corn done already too. I don't know if we did that in 2020 or if we did all the beans and then started corn. I don't know. But we're going to get into the corn as quick as we can here, or later today, and start knocking it out as much as we can get done before, I don't know, before it rains, before weather turns, before whatever happens. We'll see if we can't get it done quickly. So anyway, what a good deal. And great beans this year. So we do have double crops to run. We've got about 300 acres of double crop beans. They're going to be a long time before they're ready. So definitely going to run all of the corn first and then start on the double crop beans. There's possible that we run the ones up here at Waldron across the road from the farm before we move to Berkey. But our full season corn is at Berkey. We're going to finish shelling corn there after we've got all of it done here, and then run the double crop beans down there. So we'll probably do that and then come back and finish the double crop beans up here. But anyway, harvest is progressing quickly and it's going well. That's it. Done. Sweet. Okay, it is, what time is it? 2:25. So we are going to drop the head here, get unloaded into the cart, and let Phil finish hauling the beans in. I'm pretty sure the bin is full and he's got to take these to town because we don't have anywhere to put them, and that's fine. Good problems to have, right? But we'll get the combine taken home. Should blow it off a little bit. We got to get the corn head hooked up, and I got to get fuel. We'll get the cart moved home, well, maybe we won't take the cart home. We'll take the cart to the next field, and we'll just go ahead and get started here. Fueling again. There's Brock. Make a little equipment jam, traffic jam here in the driveway. That's all right. We got a few things to change on the combine. Won't take very long. Get the head hooked up, and remember to put our stalk stomper on, and then we'll go. Corn head is hooked up. I'm going to the field. I don't know where anybody else is. Well, I think Brock and Phil are going to get the other truck. I don't know if Phil's going to. I don't know. I'm going to the field. All right. Well, we're going to get started here. We're going to do this little field and that 46-acre field. This is 103-day corn. It was relatively early planted, so should be about the driest stuff we've got. This little tiny bit of end-rows I've done is 22%, which is wetter than I would have thought, but that's okay. That's not bad. I'm just getting a little room here. Phil's hauling that load of beans in, so Brock and I are going to work on this for a little bit, but we got to get a truck and the grain cart over here, so he's going to come pick me up with a pickup, and we'll get stuff moved. Grain cart, truck, rider. Ready? We gotta wait for Brock. He's being slow.
Why is that thing there?
That corn stalk got stuck on those row feelers there.
Why do you need row feelers?
It helps steer the combine, so it keeps it in just the right spot.
Why does it need on that one and not everyone?
Because all the rows are the same space apart, so if you know where one of them is, you know where all of them are. Go around, turn around. Jeez. Oh yeah, let the fun begin. Let's go. Getting the field opened up here. Well, yeah, there's some good corn in here. It's not all that. We're averaging 175, but it's going to climb quickly when we get off end rows. That's what I know. Yeah. Let's have some fun here. All right. Well, we finally got the end rows done. There are a lot of end rows on this field, and 24-row planters make lots of end rows, so we finally got them done. Finish it up here. There's not a lot left. It's good corn, but end rows, the corners mostly, have kind of hurt and brought the average down, but we're somewhere in the high 190s, so we'll take that. It's running really good out in the middle. Like, this stuff here was all in the 230, 240 range, so that helps. That brings averages up. We got Rylan riding today. What do you think, bud?
It's fun.
It's fun? You like shelling corn?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. He's got to go pretty quick because you got what tonight?
I got 5 football practice.
Football practice. You got 2 more games?
Yeah.
One more game and then playoffs, right? I think that's right.
Or we might go in the finals.
Yeah.
We're really good.
You guys are pretty good.
We've only lost 1 game.
Yep, I think you are 3-1-1 now. You've won 3 games, lost 1, and tied 1, right?
Yeah, we tied 1 game.
Yeah. Doing pretty good. Is it fun?
Yeah.
How come you don't look at my camera when we're talking? Watching the map. He's got to watch the map. We're farming. It's important business here. We got more important things than talking about football, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's the first field. 11.4 acres. Lots of end rows. Didn't quite hit 200. 199, we'll take it. With all the end rows, we'll take it. And I just looked at the spreadsheet that Phil fills out with the grain receiving, because I was curious what he got for moisture, and it said 17.4. Our average says 19, so maybe it actually did make 200 when you correct for the moisture. It was actually drier than what it said, and that's awesome. It's a little dry, but that's good. 103-day corn, and it's like 57.5 pound test weight, which is fantastic test weight, so really good quality. Yeah, all right, let's go. Time to go. What that means is that we're going to fly through harvest. If we get corn coming out of the field at 17 or even less than that, at 17 we're still going to dry it, but it's going to fly through that dryer really fast and keep up with us, which will be really good. And if it starts getting below that, then we got to make the decision of, do we dry it, do we not, do we haul it straight to town, do we, I don't know. Phil won't put 16% corn in the bin, I'm pretty sure of that. But we could haul it in and take the little bit of drying charge and shrink that they're going to have cheaper than what we can dry it and run it through our system for. So we got fall contracts to fill. We might as well just do that if you ask me. But we'll worry about that later. Right now it's 17.5 and we're just going to go. I had Brock give me a field total for the grain cart scale weight on that front field. Compared that to the combine, we were off by 0.7%, less than 1%. I pulled a little correction in. It's nothing really. We'll go through and post calibrate everything on the my John Deere once we're done, or once we get fields done and stuff anyway. But yeah, yield monitor's fairly accurate, less than 1% off, so that's about as good as you can hope for with a combine yield monitor. Well, there's going to be some good corn out here. Cool. Cool. We've mostly done end rows, so the average is still climbing. We're 206, 207 almost. We'll see. It's not quite as good up on the top of the hill up here, but this low ground in the back is really good, which is a good spot on the field. So we may have a row of shame situation over there. My GPS is giving me some trouble today. It keeps kicking in and out. I'm wondering if we're having solar storm issues with our radio RTK that we're running on this combine. I've heard that there's some issues with that right now, but it keeps kicking out and then coming back and saying RTK signal acquired, and I'm like, well, it's right there. Like, why'd you lose it? So I don't know. We'll see. But I got over in that other pass, and all of a sudden it was showing me I was off by 30 inches, and I'm not sure if we jumped over a row or what. But yeah, that's it is what it is. It'll be fine. Oh yeah, definitely GPS issues. I am clearly on the right rows with the header, right? And it shows me overlapping the previous rows and not on our right line. Yeah, we're oh, that's gonna be fun. Oh well. Okay. Let's let the dust settle here a little bit. No, well, let's get out and check our losses. It said right in here that they were really high. Like, unacceptable high, according to the monitor. Are they actually, or are we set too sensitive? That's what I want to know. Because you can adjust the sensitivity on that monitor, and if it's too sensitive, it'll tell you you're throwing stuff out. But we actually are throwing some out. So we got to make some adjustments. Okay. It's not as bad as initially I thought, maybe. But there's some corn there, more than I want to see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, including some broken stuff. 11, 12. That's more than a square foot. And there's a bunch here that doesn't have any. You know, we're probably 4 or 5 square feet there, so I would call it 1 to 2 bushel a loss, though. We're probably getting some of that at the head because this corn's so dry. We're getting some shelling, some butt shelling, some shatter loss stuff on the header side of it, so we got to take that into account too. It's not all coming through the combine. Let's see what it is over here. Yeah, same thing. Okay, fix it. How do we fix it? Got to stop grinding it, so I think we're gonna either open our concave up, slow our rotor speed down. That'll solve some of our issues, and then let me slow our fan speed down. Our fan was up over 1300. That's pretty fast. Yep, saw that one coming. Well, shoot, I'll take the blame on it. It's all right. It was a GPS screw up, but I'll take the blame. It's fine. Oh, this dust. Corn's dusty too. We really need a rain. Can't see anything. Right spreader speed problem. Left spreader. Oh, that's not good. Let's go check it. Well, they look fine. They definitely quit spreading though. What the heck? Ouch! Static shocked the heck out of me. Maybe we do need to drag a chain. I always thought you people that told me to drag a chain are crazy, like that won't do anything. I still don't think it will do anything, but it's got static. My windows are dirty. Why aren't our spinners spinning? You can see right there where it's been spreading out here, and then it stopped, and it's basically just dropping everything in the center. That's the problem. But why? Proc's gonna start the machine up for me so I can watch here. Those spinners are supposed to spin. They're hydraulically driven. Nothing. Off of that pump right there. The pulley that drives that pump is spinning. So either a key shaft in there broke, and it's not spinning the pump, or the pump broke or something, but we're not getting power to either one. If it was a motor on one of the spinners, one side would be running, the other side wouldn't. So the connection between that pulley and this motor is bad, and we're gonna have to try and take that off of there to take a look at it, I guess. I think we're done for the night. I'll take her for the farm. I have no idea what I was saying when that problem occurred, but yeah, something happened there, so we're gonna have to fix that. We're gonna get unloaded here, run the combine back to the shop because it's easier to work on there than out here in the field, and we're really close. So one thing, I did make that comment about dragging a chain to reduce static buildup on the combine. I've heard of people doing that. Some people claim that it helps. I have no idea. My windows are super sticky. They get lots of dust on them. I'm attributing it to some of the cleaning stuff that I've been using that I probably am going to stop using. But the dragging a chain thing, I could never figure out how that's any different than the feelers on the corn head rubbing on the ground all the time. Like, all this stuff is connected. It's all metal. So what's the difference between a feeler rubbing on the ground and a chain rubbing on the ground? I don't know why that would make any difference in reducing static. So it's not something I'm probably going to do because I don't want to drag a chain down the road, and I don't want to have to deal with getting it in and out all the time, or hooking it up, and whatever. It's fine. We'll just keep washing our windows. Anyway, let's run this back to the shop. We'll take that pump off and see if there's anything obvious, and if not, then we keep digging. I've been waiting for a spot to use my fancy Milwaukee light. 2 bolts and we'll have our answer as to whether or not the shaft being stripped or not is the problem. Yeah, that's going to be a problem. Dang shaft snapped right there. Yeah, that'll do it. Well, that'll put an end to a day pretty quick. Fortunately, it was getting late anyway, but I did show this, right? I already showed this? I think I already showed it. The shaft in there is broken. It connects to this hub, which connects to this pulley, and we got it basically all apart. If I pull that shaft out, it leaks oil everywhere, which I'm not really ready to do, so we put it back in and it stopped. I took the nut off of the inside in there that you won't be able to see. So we got to knock that broken stub off of this side. I think it's splined because it's a drive, right? But we need a new one of these motors. And so we looked it up real quick on the parts diagram, and I Googled, or I typed it into my dealer's parts app portal, and the entire dealer network of 15, 18 stores has one, and it just happens to be at my location. So I ordered it, and if they do indeed have it, we will get it first thing in the morning. So I'll run up there and grab that, and we'll be in business. It's going to be a little tricky to change because this hose has to come off, and that hose is directly connected to the main hydraulic oil reservoir, which means we're going to drain a whole lot of oil in a very short amount of time, and we'll have to be ready for that. So, but I know what's problem. I know what the problem is. I can get the parts to fix it, and we'll have it back up and running by noon easily. I just jinxed myself, so we probably won't now, but it should be together and running by noon, and it's not that hard of a repair, right? But wait, you don't have the right to repair that combine. It's a John Deere, Brock.
Oh, darn. How are we doing this?
That's not how right to repair works. That's not how it works at all. I am perfectly legal and allowed to work on my combine, and John Deere doesn't care, okay? It's a software issue. We're not going to get into that tonight. Anyway, that's where we're at with it. Bummer. It'll be fine. We ended up doing about 25 acres of corn, and we're done with the beans, so we're not going to be upset because we're done with the beans. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great night. We will see you again tomorrow. Corn harvest picks back up tomorrow. Are you coming tomorrow? I'm not. No Brock. So we'll have to have Dad run the combine some. That's okay. See you, everybody.